And we finally reached the spine-tingling conclusion, ladies and gentlemen. I am here with Morgan and Charlie and some newcomers, including Mr. Luke Ski right here.
Hey!
We call him Captain Spoiler.
And who else here?
It's Garrett, it's Ilnej, it's the guy with the hair.
Now that's
Snowman.
That shot of me in front of the big block that said ABC on it, that was in San Francisco because Disneyland...
I was the camera person for that one.
Indeed you were. That was the same day we shot the Golden Gate Bridge and the Full House and some other stuff.
With Jack and Josh's help.
Because Disneyland doesn't really have any ABC iconography anywhere. Disney World does, but we were stuck on this coast, so... While I was in San Francisco, I just got that shot in front of San Francisco's ABC building.
I honestly thought that was somewhere in Hollywood Studios, to be perfectly honest.
Didn't there used to be a building by California Adventure that had just like big old posters?
It had it used to have the ABC soap opera bistro, but not anymore.
Okay.
So according to Jim, I found out like very late in the game that according to Jim even did a Disney Cruise Line episode, and I was so deep into doing the rest of it, I was like, I don't have time to review a whole other thing, and I don't care about the Disney Cruise Line anyway. So my thing is, I'll watch this once, and any jokes that immediately pop to mind, I'll put in, and then I'll just skip over it straight to George Lopez. And one of the big ones, of course, was this song, which. Literally all the dancers in this are in this room right now.
We're still dancing.
Yeah, we've got Zach and Dave and Jared.
I want to stop!
This was in the summer of 2013 when Zach and I were visiting.
Yeah, Zach and Dave didn't live here yet at the time.
We had to wake up really early for that.
We had to wake up really early. I did a lot of takes where you were all just doing the same kind of jig dance, and then at the end, I just had us. I said, "Okay, now everybody just freestyle," and I used the freestyle take.
Zach and I were taking two separate vacations, which overlapped by one day.
Yeah, and which was the day we all went to Disneyland.
I like that you had two different harmonicas for each key change.
Yeah, that was... And Sam Barry, who is my stepdad, incidentally, recorded the audio of that harmonica part there, so thank you very much, Sam. And as much as I love that dancing bit, I feel like it's the one time when I really wish some jerk with a camera had a budget, so I could have poured all of it into, like, having elephants and acrobats and stuff in the background. Just that would have been amazing.
It almost didn't make it because, like, we were waiting for people to show up, and like the Disney security was trying to kick us out.
Well, they weren't trying to kick us out. They were just telling us we couldn't use a tripod.
Right.
We couldn't use a tripod, so we had one less dancer because someone had to actually hold the camera.
Zenith was also in town.
Zenith was there, and he couldn't be a dancer because of all that. And
that was my joke about the obsession that I have about hidden Mickeys. So
Charlie is obsessed with hidden Mickeys.
It
So
really kind of kicked off my Disneyland fandom, to be perfectly honest. Just kind of just studying every single ride and wanting to just find every single one of them.
You make me feel dumb every time you point them out.
You guys set something up here that has yet to pay off. Like, I'm still waiting for your shows to do something with the hidden Mickeys.
We've been talking about it ever since like we did Star Tours together. We've been talking about doing some sort of hidden Mickey centric episode someday. I mean, we still might do it someday. From YouTube. And I didn't learn about this George Lopez episode until after I'd gotten back from Florida. And I realized, okay, well, and originally in the first draft, it cut straight from, me ending the song to me just briefly talking about Modern Family and then the end. But then when I learned about this, it's like, well, I have to review it properly. And that, of course, was the version of Lowrider from The Odd Life of Timothy Green, of all things. And that's Disney CEO Bob Iger, the idea that...
Who is allegedly going to be leaving Disney at some point.
Yeah, maybe, but just conflating this contest with the fake Full House contest and all that, it all ties together, folks.
I believe his name is pronounced
very poorly.
Bobby Gare.
Yeah. And this is one of those days where I only remembered to shave one half of my beard, clearly.
It's pronounced Iger.
It's a tiger without the T, like the character owning the Iger.
What's sad is
I watched this episode with Film Renegado, and
did you?
He said, he and I talked about doing a crossover review of the George Lopez show,
I thought you were going to do Rob.
We did
Rob.
do Rob.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But that was for his show. We were talking about doing George Lopez for my show.
Speaking of the film Renegado,
it was decided that the George Lopez show was a little too funny.
Yeah.
There's me.
And speaking of film Renegado, that was his voice as the Spanish language announcer in that bit.
All right, maybe it's just my dumb brain, but I never got that joke.
And
I know it's something to do with the whole water breaking thing.
The idea is that I think Jerk is suggesting to The Wire that she get pregs and ride the ride, and then they can exploit the baby.
And she's having none of it. Of course. Yeah, that was exactly the joke. But
do you do your makeup a specific way when you're playing The Wire?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I do.
I'm a boy who noticed something about a girl. Yay!
Yeah, no. My Wire makeup was very specific. It was the palest foundation I could find. It was really heavy eyeliner, and it was my hair as messy as I could make it.
And the
mission was to make it as hard as possible to see my face.
And this was something I thought of at the very last minute on the very last day we shot anything for the ABC retrospective in I think February of 2014. And they had just started doing the Disney side ad campaign, which was pretty short-lived, but I remember just finding it very creepy, and that's kind of my commentary on it.
You can show your Disney side, your hashtag Disney side.
You can commit Disney side.
Tower of Terror, R.I.P.
Have we all ridden this thing with the lights off, by the way? Because I accidentally did that my last time on it, and I thought I was going to die in Disneyland.
I think most of us here did.
And this is the bit that broke all my comment sections, because I literally... Our comment sections, yes. Because literally none of us can mention the Tower of Terror anymore without someone in the comments just copy-pasting the new Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, the new Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, the new Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. And these bits... Shut up. Shut up!
Does it make you miss Gummy Bears for the win?
A little.
I love that
you're referencing other commentaries now. We're crawling way too far up our own asshole.
I love that your Rod Serling is kind of just Maurice LaMarche's Rod Serling.
It kind of is, and by the way, I didn't have time to memorize the line before I shot this, so ideally I would have liked to do it without my glasses, but since I use my glasses to see, I couldn't read the cue card.
Well, Stefan or
we had printed out the script, and I just couldn't memorize it. I was like, no, I can't do this. I gotta.
We shot this in Austin, Texas.
We did.
Summer you and Stefan reviewed The Black Cauldron.
We did, yeah. Me and Garrett flew out to Texas the summer before we released this to shoot Black Cauldron and just visit Stefan and visit my relatives in Texas. And it's the first time I ever used a green screen, and we got several shots for the for the ABC retrospective in general.
There's also the one where
did Stefan do the effect for that, or did you?
No, I did the chroma key effect.
That was the same time we also shot the one where it's like your own cheesy sitcom intro. Where we're like, oh look, I got a sign with my name on it.
Yeah, that's that sort of thing. Although in that case, I think I was just gesturing to a nuclear bomb going off. Or something.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, okay. I was because I think I remember I was in the room coaching you, just I can't believe that's me on the TV now.
That sort of thing.
I want to be this guy when I grow up.
Oh God. Yeah, that blurred lines thing was a topic. That was topical at the time.
He's wearing a gosh dang Ed Hardy shirt too. So.
There was a fellow named
she's not into. Oh, this is so uncomfortable.
Oh God. And this delivery of she's going to videotape everything was a George Carlin reference. He once on one of his albums he talked people who go to events and film everything. Just that whole. And this kind of a spaghetti western reference with the colors all burgundy tinted and everything.
And your eyes do look nice and demented with this coloring.
And audio from Good, the Bad, and the Ugly playing in the background, and of course the Some Jerk with a leaf blower reference to Sabrina, and any opportunity to abuse Charlie I will take. So.
We've all abused Charlie.
And why you've been keeping me in your videos for so long?
Have we all abused Charlie at some point?
I think we have.
We gained great.
Well, we've all abused each other.
That's true.
What are you gonna do?
But we gained great joy from his
And I love this. This was an improv from Charlie.
Originally, a couple of different ones.
Well, he did a couple of different improvs, and this he just did that silently, and I added the sound effect later because I just love that so much.
I think I even did like the perfect cadence of it too.
Yeah. It was very well done, and I do think Modern Family was. At the time, I since believe that the middle episode that took place in Disney World has surpassed that, which I will review eventually. I will someday do ABC Retrospective 2.0, where I cover all the like Blackish and the middle and the original Blossom episode and a couple of others that I've since learned about. Arthur
the Aardvark goes to Disney World.
Yeah, exactly. But this
was a hard shot to get.
Because the sun is right in your eyes.
It is, and I kept screwing up my lines, and I couldn't
I think this was another day where we had to get up early for some reason, so it was just everyone was tired. And
I don't get out
I was tired and I was cranky.
And see, like this is why I thought the Modern Family episode was the best. In fact, the Modern Family was part of what inspired me to do this retrospective to begin with. When this aired, I remembered thinking, wow, they haven't done this in a while. They used to do this all the time back in the 90s, and something just sparked up. And the reason I considered Modern Family better was it had jokes like that, where they specifically referred to the Pirates iconography, which they would never have done. They would never have been that specific and that accurate. Exactly, and the Dapper Dans and the Lincoln and all that, and the Modern Family. I mean, like I say in the episode, it's not perfect, but I really, this is what brought it all full circle to me, and this was kind of the reason for the season, or the reason for several seasons, because it took me literally years to complete this whole goddamn retrospective.
Hey, you're not the only one taking years to finish a Disneyland video.
Fair enough.
Dave.
And 45 minutes is a pretty good wait for Indy.
Especially with that cue.
Yeah.
Hell, it could break down and we'll just break into Bohemian Rhapsody.
Absolutely.
Everybody loves it when we do that.
We cast members the same day we shot the Jim Belushi song.
That's right.
Oh my god, that's right.
That was for those who
behind us, we had that class of what seemed like a whole bunch of
Indy broke down. Indiana Jones broke down while we were in line for it, and for some reason we all just started singing Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah, we were listening
and we
to it
sang
on
the entire
phone.
Song. We got through.
We did.
I did that at
and we got
Comic-Con.
a large group of teenage girls who were in line immediately ahead of us to sing along.
And then after we were done, they were like, "Oh my god, do you know Justin Bieber?"
It's like, no, they were asking us if we had any Taylor Swift.
Oh, that's right.
Do you know anything from The Music Man?
That's what the kids are into now, right?
And the Emmy thing is a bit of a stretch because I mentioned winning Emmys for infomercials way back in the intro episode, but I don't know. I think it worked.
Before we get into the end sequence here, can we point out
it is a
that Ed
legitimately
O'Neill
good
is
show,
is
even
a
when it's
octopus
showing.
that drives a truck?
Yes, absolutely. and this, by the way, we have a friend named who actually works in the character department, and everyone in the character department just hated it when Modern Family did this. When, the idea that a cast member from a completely different department of the park could just steal a Little John costume and take it on stage with them and to basically stalk a girl. It's like, that's,
That does not happen.
There's like 80 different things that would prevent anyone from ever doing that. So
Verisimilitude compromised.
Verisimilitude compromised,
Well, what's
indeed.
funny too is, like, you mentioned this when you first pitched the bit to us, but, like, because as I reveal in this episode, I used to work in the character department, and they would always say, "Now remember, you are not Mickey. You are friends with Mickey." And you mentioned that's probably because, one, Lil Jon is such an obscure character now, and two, that costume looks like garbage.
And this is something you actually used to do.
Yeah, because
this was one of the first anecdotes you told us, actually, when we first met you.
Because Goofy doesn't see out of his eyes, he sees out of his mouth, so Goofy can, in the park, cover his eyes and do that dumb little ear bit I was just doing right there. I was a real innovator in my time. I was the best in 2008.
And I remember, like I said, I didn't release this episode until like February 2014. We shot this scene in November of 2012.
God,
and I specifically remember it because it was the day Wreck-It Ralph came out. Because after shooting this, we all went to see it.
Oh, yeah.
And
that movie was amazing.
Yeah.
So at that point, you knew
I
about
apologize for my acting,
Star
guys.
Wars
I'm
for
like,
roughly, but
handful of days.
exactly, but it didn't, it had no bearing on the episode. So there you go. This carousel shot was fun to get. It took a while to find the right song for this sequence, because I knew I wanted it to be a dark ballad, and most dark ballads are about heartbreak or death. And silly as it is, this scene is more Jerk's crisis of faith. Is what this really is. So it required a song like God's Song by Randy Newman, which is perfect because you got the same voice that sings "You Got a Friend in Me," singing this dirge about how God is a sadist who loves to torture us all. I think it's fair to say this scene is more poignant than anything in Escape from Tomorrow, so...
I wonder if I know anybody in that shot, apart from you.
You probably do. Well, yeah, I mean, anyway... And
do you know anybody in this shot?
It was really hard.
I don't.
Well, you don't. Do you really know yourself, Garrett?
Is that Jared in the background?
Is it?
Is that Jared on the bench?
Is that Luke in the background? Look. Is that Luke behind that map?
Is that Cinderella?
Foreshadowing.
Oh my gosh.
This shot's pretty good.
Yeah, the sun refracting this.
You see, Luke represents the 90s itself with its bowl-cut hairdo coming to get revenge.
Bro, I rocked
Jerk.
Dude, I rocked that hairdo
For criticizing any part of the 90s.
It's postmodern.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
We call it Pomo.
Absolutely. And another Texas shot there. I'm not on a treadmill. I'm just pretending to walk.
I am speaking English, and that should explain everything.
Indeed. And I love this breaking up the and
nice
here comes
ball.
4 shots in a row in 4 different states. This is me at MagFest and coming up in Maryland,
New Orleans,
well, Baton Rouge actually. Because
Louisiana.
I went to Mississippi for Charlie and Haley's wedding, and I realized it would be cheaper for me to fly to Baton Rouge because I was going to need a rental car anyway, and get this shot in front of the real Panettas. And I actually ate at Panettas, and like I said, it's good. I recommend it if you're in Baton Rouge. And this is
Texas on the way to Six Flags.
On our way to Six Flags.
Stefan got this shot
with his DSLR.
Yo, man, he got that Panasonic GH2 Micro Four Thirds camera lens with the 2.8 aperture and
a CD-ROM drive.
And back at
the pier.
Back at the pier in California.
Here are like 2 knockoff Minnie and Mickey characters,
which couldn't be more perfect. This is
absolutely
shot so perfect.
They would not let us get that shot until we paid them.
Yeah, we had to slip them like $5 before they would actually show their fake Mickey and Minnie faces on camera.
Fantastic too.
Indeed.
I'm sad you don't still have
so
that.
They're the only
side.
paid actors in the history.
They really are. Yes.
We get called it donations.
We get paid in Dole Whip.
Yeah. So Luke, tell us about this scene.
Yeah. This is the day I met Morgan for the first time.
Yes.
And I had forgotten my camera, which wasn't.
So to way oversimplify it, because we're not going to go into it. Me and Tony kind of weren't friends for about 6 years.
Yeah.
And then we were again. So that is what we're referring to with this whole notion of, he and I used to be friends, and he's gone off on this other path of being some jerk with a camera, and now here I am in his moment of crisis to try to pull him out of it.
And you've had that puppet of yourself for a while for various projects.
I made that puppet in 2010 for a music video I did with Carrie Dalby, and then I started making more puppets in the same style of other friends of mine for videos that you can see at my YouTube page, youtube.com/thegreatlukeski. And Tony had this idea to do this scene with the puppet that is dressed exactly like me.
Yeah, and this was during the same. This was before you actually moved out here, and this was during the same trip in I think 2013.
Yeah.
The exact same trip to LA that was immortalized in your song "Because of Bob."
Yes.
Which
long story short, is a Kickstarter donor led to me coming out to California to perform at a house party for him.
And that couch behind me, there was a homeless person sleeping behind that couch.
That's their bed.
And in the raw footage, you could see like his hand creeping up in there, and we didn't see him there, and we didn't notice. I think maybe you guys noticed, but I didn't, and I wasn't about to. And when you threw it at my head, it actually connected in this shot. And
see, I was trying so hard to like, I wanted to like hit in the perfect way. Oh, and here the ice cream thing happened to be there, so I just started chasing him.
Yeah, that was my idea.
Yeah, and
I want a Bugs Bunny face.
But yeah, it was like I kept trying to hit it in just the right way so that it would make a nice fop noise, but also be facing the camera enough so that you could see what it was.
Right.
I still have my T-shirt.
Yeah, Stefan made those T-shirts for us.
I started getting a hold.
And mine too.
Star Tours glasses provided by me because they have more lax standards of loss prevention than Transformers or Despicable Me does.
What do they do with the used glasses? I've always wondered.
Our glasses.
Charlie works at Transformers, by the way.
Our glasses, once they go down the chute, they immediately get like sorted into trays and shoved through like this car wash type of machine that cleans them, which is basically just a steam bath.
By the way, I like the fact that your font changed to the Back to the Future credits font.
Yes.
I think we should mention all the way that Charlie is not Optimus Prime. He is friends with Optimus Prime.
And he's not Charles Barkley either.
No, I'm not. Charlie Baker, Callahan, Louise Dreyfus.
Yeah, this was during a brief period. I think Charlie accidentally misspelled my name.
Misspelled your name
as Tony Goldmark. And so for a while we just kept one-upping each other in credits of who could misspell each other's names.
Isn't Goldmark the villain from the Smurfs?
I think so. Yeah.
Back in
I think I told you some jerk with a Gamera at one point.
Some gank with a Gamora.
I prefer some jerk with a Mothra, but anyway.
I like Todd Branston.
So that is pretty much the end of the ABC retrospective. This has been a blast.
Yay.
And it
learned a lot about love.
It was a lot of fun to make these and a lot of work, and it took way more time than it should have.
That's a thing I own.
But ultimately worth it. So, from all of us at ABC Land and Some Jerk Land, we all would like to we all would like to wish you a fond the new Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, 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 the new Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. Oh wait, it's Garrett. Wait. Oh, now you got...
this is outside my house.
This is outside Morgan's house. We shot and edited this. We shot this before a movie night.
This was the only bit that in the whole retrospective that I didn't
the Chris
edit.
Hansen stuff?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No. Because I wasn't there this day. This was just you two getting this shot, and this is the only bit that I didn't edit. You even did the split screen for this with the car.
I think I had just gotten Premiere and I was really into doing effects.
And that's how Illich died.
Good times.
But yes, goodbye, everybody.
He didn't die, he just melted.
Yeah. Well, that was also to explain why I am gonna be your friend and we all will be cheese. And I think that was also to explain because I was going away. I was going away to work. I was going to Texas for a couple months at that point, so I thought, okay, if I can't be in any of Tony's videos for a while, this is why I'm not, because I got hit by a car.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
The end.